From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Kindergarten teacher Ellen Javernick has published over 20 illustrated children's books. The Loveland residents' first book, What If Everybody Did That?, sold more than 1 million copies. She recently published her newest book, titled Awesome of the Day. It tells the story of a boy named Andrew who has one bad day after the next until he learns to change his outlook. Ellen teaches at Garfield Elementary School in Loveland, and she says she wants her books to inspire positive behavior in kids without getting overly sappy. Ellen joined me earlier this year to talk about what inspired her newest book and how, at age 87, she continues to find energy that matches that of her young students. We're listening back to that conversation today as part of the In The NoCo Holiday Book Club. It's our annual look back at some of the year's most fascinating titles by Colorado authors. Ellen, you told our producer that you owe your writing success partly to being tied down to your classroom chair when you were in first grade. I have to ask, what happened and how did that help your writing career?
Well, basically back then, it was probably okay to tie somebody to their chair, but I wiggled all the time. I couldn't stay in my chair. So to help me, and they tied me to my chair so I didn't bother the other boys and girls.
Right.
Which might seem bad, except that I had nothing to do but think. So I kind of started looking out the window and thinking of stories and looking at the children around me and thinking of who would be a good monster. So it kind of inspired my writing because I couldn't be moving. Just my brain was moving.
Ah, okay. So here the seeds of this part of your career were born.
Right.
Well, I want to talk about your new book, Awesome of the Day. In this book, a boy named Andrew has just one bad day after another before his sister suggests, hey, there must have been something good to focus on from your day, some awesome that happened. This puts Andrew on a journey toward a much happier experience. Ellen, where did this story idea come from?
I heard someone say that they wrote in their journal their own awesome of the day. And I thought, oh, that would be a good idea. So I started doing it myself. And then, I'd run across little children that would be throwing tissies because something terrible happened. They didn't get the blue crayon and they wanted it. And so, there are bad things that happen in all of our lives, little people and big people. So after I'd been doing it myself for a while, I thought that would be a wonderful thing to teach kids, to think at the end of the day, to stop and look back on your day and think of what was the very best thing from what happened in the day. It might be something simple like making it across the monkey bars or finding the blue crayon when you wanted one. But very simple things could be awesome of the day kinds of things.
It's like a gratitude practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious about how being a kindergarten teacher inspires you as a writer. And is Andrew based on any of your students?
Well, I have to tell you, I have 5 children, and Andrew is actually my middle child.
Okay.
But Andrew was such a nice name. And he reminds me of so many little people, because they do get upset about things. But, it's been fun to hear after I read the book to classes, to hear little people come up to me and say, oh, my awesome of the day was that they had tacos for lunch. It's not giant things in our lives that are awesome. It's often the small ones, that my baby sister walked today. That was pretty awesome.
I mean, this sounds great for adults, too. I think sometimes we need to be reminded good things are happening. They don't have to be giant.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, in my case, it's I found my keys or I didn't run out of gas or, things like that become my awesome of the day. They don't have to be big things. Frequently finding things are good things.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
We are living through a time when anxiety and depression reported among kids is on the rise. How often do you think about that trend when you write your books?
I think about that always because I want kids to feel good about themselves. I want them to recognize that they do live happy lives. I want them to think life is fun. And I want them to not focus on the worry. Sometimes we go overboard. Oh, Susie, I'm so sad. That's too bad, dear. Oh, instead of helping that child bounce back by saying, so what was your good thing today? I think that helps children develop a positive attitude toward their lives.
And kind of a little encouraging of resilience, I guess.
Hmm. A good word, a very good word.
Do you see other teachers or parents maybe focusing too much on the negatives that kids experience?
I do. I think we kind of went overboard and we said, oh, honey, that's too bad. And children began to come up with bad things to get attention.
Mm.
We had a teacher who asked kids to tell their feelings every day. And she noticed that they started telling more and more sad feelings.
Hmm.
And then she realized that she was giving those children all the attention. And so she just said, let's think of happy things versus focusing on the negative.
Yeah.
I think that helped.
Ellen, your book, What If Everybody Did That, sold more than 1 million copies. What about that book do you think resonated with kids?
If you drop one piece of gum on the sidewalk, it doesn't make a mound of gum. But if everybody did it, it would be terrible. If you honked your horn just one time and everybody honked their horn, that would be awful. I think that's the secret. If we can teach kids to make those decisions based on other people.
Right. Well, Ellen, I want to highlight again that you are 87 years old. You are still teaching kindergarten and you are publishing books. How do you find the energy to do all of this?
Well, again, remember, I was tied to my chair. So I guess if I weren't doing all those things, somebody might have to tie me to my chair now. I get bored easily like a little first grade boy. I don't go jumping on the trampoline, but I do go to the gym every day to work out. So, yeah, I think I would be bored.
Mm.
I think somebody would have to tie me down. So that's where my energy comes.
We don't want you to go through that again.
No.
That's Ellen Javernick, a Loveland kindergarten teacher and children's book author. She spoke with me earlier this year about her newest book, Awesome of the Day. You'll find all our favorite author interviews of 2025 at our website, KUNC.org. That's it today for In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thanks so much for listening.